you. Happy Midsummer.
My dear friends, a very, very heartfelt welcome to you on this wonderful, glorious day and on Father's Day. So I'm going to ring the bell, which means we start the program. It also means that you're glued to your seat. You can't get up unless you have to go to what is called the Sanctuary of Release, which is straight ahead this way here. Okay, we start with some wonderful blessings.
Good morning again and welcome everybody. Such a beautiful day to be together, and with much joy and happiness we welcome you all this morning. Before we get into the heart of our service, something very important and sad came to me in the mail last evening that I want to share with this community right away. And I know it's kind of hard to start a beautiful, happy day in this very important service with something sad. But this is something going on with one of our dear friends and members, Judith Laxer, who was our guest speaker on Easter Sunday just a few months ago. And she's a very dear friend of our community. She's been an active participant in many, many of our programs and services over the years. And she sent us, she wrote in her newsletter yesterday some news that I felt our community should know, so we can send prayers and hopefully ease a difficult time for her. And Jamal thought it would be appropriate for me to read it here at the beginning. I'm going to read parts of it, and if you want to read more, you can get this copy from me. I want to show you her picture in case you might forget who she is. She's the high priestess of Gaia's temple here in Seattle. She's a mystic, and she's a wonderful minister, counselor, and a Wiccan follower of the most beautiful traditions in the mystical and the Wiccan tradition. She's been with us since 1998, before I have been here. So she predates me, and she and Jamal and Karen. And as I said, she's been a member of our community in the sense that she participates in many, many of our interfaith events and actually guides and actively leads some of our events. She said, "Sadly, I never thought I'd be writing the following disturbing words to you, but I must. So here we go. In March of this year, I was diagnosed with pneumonia, but as time went on and I didn't recover, but in fact got worse, further tests revealed that I have very aggressive end-stage lung cancer. End stage. As you can imagine, this has completely hijacked my life, the kind of hijacking where every moment simply must be met with surrender. After these last 2 hellish weeks in the hospital, I finally came to die in the sanctuary of my own home and garden. I am now being very well taken care of on palliative care, and so blessed and grateful that I am. As a priestess who has walked a pagan path for over 40 years, please take comfort in knowing that although I thought I had more time on this beautiful planet of ours, I feel satisfied with the life I have lived, artistic, creative, spiritual, mystical, well-traveled, on purpose, and in service. My soul is content." And there's a little more to the letter, but I want to read you the last couple lines. She does say, "The best medicine I could ask for are your prayers for my transition from elder to ancestor. Of course, I would love to hear from you, and it's really important. It's really moment to moment these days, so no guarantee I can respond. Please don't take it personally if I don't. I am filled with gratitude for your presence in my life, how you have enriched me, honored me by reading my words, trusted me with your hearts and souls in my work as a priestess and spiritual counselor." And then at the very end, she says, how does one say goodbye? How does one sign off in a newsletter one has so thoroughly loved creating each month for so long? How does one say goodbye? Like this. There is nothing but love. Give it away with both hands and grab it with all you've got. Much love from your favorite mystic, always and forever, Judith. So, thank you for allowing me to share that. And if you knew Judith, of course, you know you're welcome to contact her, but knowing that she might not be able to contact back right away. And if you'd like to read the rest of the letter, I'll have it up here. And I appreciate, I know there are people online who are hearing this for the first time too, so I felt it was okay since she wrote that as a public document. And I think she would want us to know. So thank you. And that kind of, it leads us into our acknowledgement of our ancestors, and it's a poignant moment to be realizing that we will all become ancestors, and we are all descendants. We are descendants of our fathers and our mothers and our grandparents and all the people and all the creatures who have lived on this earth for billions of years, okay? We are descendants, and they are our ancestors. All the living beings, all the mineral beings have been here before us and have laid the groundwork for us to be here and for the future generations to be here after us. And so, as I know, Chris is always, helps remind us when he honors our ancestors. And by the way, Chris and Lila were very close friends with Judith, but they're not here yet, huh? We'll have to, they probably already know this. Chris always reminds us that we are becoming ancestors, and the children we have interacted with and the young people, all of our lives, people we've taught, people we've interacted with, people we are related to, people who are part of our friendship circles, all of our descendants are part of us, and we are part of them. So we are in a continuing stream of being, and it's one of the most important lessons we're trying to remember and learn in this congregation, particularly this year, as we study the impact of engaged Buddhism on our interfaith work. And so I welcome us all to honor our ancestors, including our parents, and especially today our fathers and our mothers and our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers and all the fathers back to the first cell that became alive back there somewhere in the millenniums, in the centuries, and in the billions of years. And we honor those who are coming after us and who will be carrying on the legacies that we've left them. So we have, those of us who have time left to lead a legacy, let's lead a legacy we can be proud of and that the next generation can be proud of and honor as well. And we thank all of our ancestors for giving all that they have given and for continuing to grace us with their presence. Thank you so much for that. We also honor our native people, and the native people of this land in particular, on whose land we are standing, on whose land we have settled without ever having been ceded the territory, whose land was stolen from them, and whose people were killed. But we honor them nevertheless because we know that the mistakes that have been made in the past, we would like to repair now and in the future by learning from them, accepting their guidance and their wisdom when they help us learn how to preserve our environment and how to save our trees and our salmon and our hunting grounds and all the things that we need that we have been so eager to destroy and act like we don't need anymore. And we honor their being here. We wish they would all be recognized as tribes by our federal government, which our Duwamish tribe, which is our Seattle tribe, with the Seattle Chief Self, as we call their chief, was of the Duwamish tribe, not recognized yet by the United States government, therefore not able to reap some of the benefits, the few benefits that the Native Americans have. So we pray that they would be recognized in the future. We pay some rent. It's called Real Rent Seattle. You can go on the website and make donations to their tribe and help them. They have a beautiful center tribal center longhouse in the Duwamish Longhouse on Marginal Way, and visit that. It's open to the public. It's a beautiful museum and place of worship and place of gathering. So we honor our ancestors, we honor our First Peoples, and let's do that prayer that Chris has taught us, where we put our hand on our heart for a moment. We gather all the love and the care that's in our heart at this moment, and we'll offer it up to the being, the Creator, however we conceive of that which is beyond ourselves. And as we hold our hand up, we might receive a gift or a response or an answer from the Creator. And then we do that together. In just a second, we'll do that together, and we say, "Oh," at the end. Okay, so let's try that. Gather your heart's desire, your heart's prayers, your love, your beauty, and your joy, and you send it up to the Greater One, and you ask the Greater One, if the Greater One so pleases, to put something in your hand that will be of ease to you and your heart and your mind and of use. And then you bring it down, "Oh," in a gesture of gratitude. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask Jamal to lead us in a prayer for the Divine Feminine.
So, my dear friends, for Divine Feminine, let's chant this song that you're familiar with. We say, "Peace and greetings to you." On the other side, and in the Islamic tradition, the first one is Mother Mary, Maryam. Second one is Asiya, the wife of the Pharaoh who rescued Moses from the waters. Third one is Khadija, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, who was actually 15 years his senior in age. Hazrati Bibi, we mentioned those names, meaning, "Oh beloved, you, Salamu alaikum, peace and greetings be to you." And then she replies to us, "And peace and greetings be upon you." So we receive those blessings. Hazrati Bibi Maryam, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And she replies, "Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam." Asiya. Hazrati Bibi Asiya, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Khadija. Hazrati Bibi Khadija, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. She replies, "Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam."
Happy Father's Day, everybody. We're going to share some of our midsummer program with you. This is, there's a strong Scandinavian community here, and actually Ballad was started by Norwegian and Swedish immigrants. This is one of those songs. we could do, need that one?
How about Arjun also something?
Okay, it's very, so many tunes, so little time. This is also a Norwegian waltz. We just had 17th of May, Norwegian Independence Day, believe it or not. And this is one of those tunes we learned for that, thinking we do a lot of Finnish tunes, we need some Norwegian tunes. So visualize a circle of couples, and you go, or 8 partners with eight bars with one partner, and you move on to the next partner. Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, you can do the
Thank you.
when I play that, I'm thinking about, it's almost like a visualization of walking through the Norwegian, or seeing the Norwegian fjords up and seeing all the blue skies and the magnificent scenery there, you know? It kind of transports you to a different world.
Version of things probably, but if you still have a CD player.
Once again, Brigit and Phil, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wonderful contribution to music. Thank you. And once again, my friends, thank you so much for your presence. As I always say, your presence is a blessing. Let's start with a chant, Allahu Allah, praising divinity, knowing that when we praise gods, goddesses, spirit, whatever you call that, God doesn't become holy, we become holy. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Just the beloved women, please. Just the beloved men. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Family all together. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Once softly. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Twice aloud. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. And becoming very still for a few moments. Thank you, my friends. So on Father's Day, we always do a Father's Day meditation. And in preparation for that, I'll say a few words. First of all, happy Father's Day to you. And when I think of Father's Day, as a Muslim, I look in the Quran, there's a prayer. I'll say it briefly. The prayer says, "Oh my sustainer, oh God, please bestow your blessings, the grace of your blessings on my father, on my mother, because they raised me, they cherished me as a child." That's a very common prayer that Muslims are asked to say as often as possible. But the Quran also goes on to say that if your father or mother have led you astray, you have the right to disobey them. This is a very important verse I find in my therapy that I do. I tell them that the holy books say that, you see. But it goes on to say, even if that is the case, please, when they reach old age, please be of help to them. Take care of them. This is not only an obligation, this is something that will bring you joy in life. So take that to heart. That's one prayer I like very much. I brought this book. There it is, yeah. The World's Religions by the late Professor Houston Smith. I love his wonderful prayer that he acknowledges this book dedicated to his prayer. It says, "When I behold the sacred liao wo," and that's a species of grass symbolizing parenthood. So when I behold my parents, my father and my mother, my thoughts return to those who begot me, raised me, and now are tired. I would repay the bounty they have given me, but it is as the sky. It can never be approached. To me, that's a very beautiful prayer about Father. So, in preparation for this meditation on Father, let's first talk about, or think about, reflect on, what were some difficult issues you had with Father? When I think of my father, I had a very, very, and I don't mean to boast, but to tell the truth, a very wonderful relationship with my father. Wonderful human being, exceptional actually. So when I think of my father, I remember once, I mentioned this several times, my father once told me, "Son, you're not practical." And somehow those words really impacted me throughout my life. And then so what's the lesson I can learn from that? Words have powers, tremendous power. Those vibrations of words are very, very strong, impactful. Am I aware of that? It has impacted me in a good way. I'm careful about my words, and especially, as I was taught, the tone in which you deliver those words is very important. You know, I'm thinking of this Zen story I repeat again every time. This Zen monk who was giving a lecture on a certain subject, and there was this warrior, a very high-class warrior, and the Zen master was talking about the power of words. And the warrior told the Zen monk, "You know, I think this is an exaggeration. It's just words. I use four-letter words like this. It's just words." And then the monk said, "That's because you're a warrior. You're stupid. You're like an idiot. You don't use your brain or your heart. You just use your sword." And the more he kept on saying, the warrior got so mad, was about to take his sword out to kill the Zen monk. And the monk said, "Stop. See, I just used some words. It has caused such a reaction within you. The choice of words and the tone in which you deliver your words are very critical." So just be with that for a few moments. So when I think of some people with whom I have done some work, I remember one young person told me that when he was a child, he always yearned to be touched by his father, but his father never touched him. So he would always, as a child, pretend to fall asleep. He was not asleep, but pretend to fall asleep because his father then would go and pick him up and touch him and then put him to bed and kiss him before putting him to bed. And he just yearned for that touch. How has this affected him? He said in his personal relationships, he was so, with women, he was so needy. And how has this affected him in a positive way? He said, he found the real touch he yearned for, he really realized, is in being spiritual, in silence, in prayers, in meditation. He loved this Rumi quote. Rumi has this wonderful utterance. There is a kiss we want all our lives. There is a kiss we want all our lives, a touch of spirit on the body. There's a kiss we want all our lives, a touch of spirit on the body. So he says he has now been yearning for and getting wonderful results in yearning for what is called the glow of presence. The glow of presence. Just be with that. How does that sit with you? Another person I remember doing work with who said, believe me, you won't believe me, said, in my entire life, I was totally ignored by my father. I don't think he spoke more than 100 words to me in my entire life. I think that's an exaggeration, obviously, you see. But he was invisible to his father. Forget the touch. Totally indifferent. So how did it affect him? He learned to be a master of joke telling. So in groups, he would always tell a joke and he would be visible. It also affected him in the way that he would read so many wonderful books, became a scholar just by reading his books, so that in a group that he would be attending, any particular group, he would say something very smart, something intelligent, and be the center of attention. But he said that always caused so much tension in him. After he became aware, he still is a good joker, is a wonderful contributor to some wonderful things, but now he really, what he says, he has become very aware of helping those in any group, in any situation, in his family, extended family, in his community, those who people ignore, who people avoid, who people don't include, because he has learned the pain of not being visible. So just be with that. Okay, maybe just one more. I remember this one particular situation where this young person, again young, when I say young, by the way, I'm 76 plus. I consider myself just a little bit young plus. So, so this person said, when he was just about 4 or 5, his father died. And for some reason, he felt ashamed. So he would lie about his father. He would pretend his father is still alive. And then when he was a teenager, his mother died. And then he became so angry at the world. He became a mean person, angry person. He started shoplifting. Society owed him. So when he came for work with me, he hated everybody. I said, there's nobody you like? Hate, But finally, I sort of narrowed it down. He loved being outdoors. He loved trees. So in meditation, I always brought trees. And eventually, over time, the trees became his father, his mother, his entire family, his entire community. The trees gave him that wonderful sense of connection with father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, and life. And he became a different person also by realizing the beauty of trees. So, for example, the tree offers shade to everybody. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, whether you're rich or poor, it is generous. A fruit tree offers fruits to everybody, and yet the fruit tree never consumes its own fruits. Generosity, graciousness. And one he liked very much when I told him about, that wonderful insight by this Christian writer about God. She said, "Oh, sister tree, almond tree, tell me about God." And the almond tree blossomed. And he restored his faith with God. And today he's a wonderful family person, has a beautiful wife, has a wonderful career, and is extremely joyous. He says, trees became his father, mother, and helped him heal his life completely. So just be with that. What was your relationship with your father? How have you been affected? How have you been able to reframe that in your life? What are some good examples of relationship of father and child, son or daughter? When I think about it, I think, of course, of the Prophet Muhammad, who had this wonderful daughter named Fatima. She's highly revered in Islam, Fatima, daughter of the Prophet Muhammad. And one day, the Prophet came to Fatima's house, and she was in her 20s, she was married, and he whispered something into her ear, and she burst out crying, and she just was uncontrollable for days and weeks, just crying and crying. What did the father say? What did the Prophet say? He said, it has been revealed to me, I will die very soon. And he did die very soon, actually. And she just was beside herself. But then before he died, he came to her and whispered something else into her ear, and she was beside herself with joy, dancing, jumping up and down, and just so happy, for days and weeks. People said, what did you whisper? And the Prophet said, my dear daughter, my beloved daughter, it has been revealed to me, you will also be joining me very soon. And she did. She died actually less than 6 months after he died. But that showed, to me, a symbol of the devotion, the love the daughter had for the father. Another example I always remember, when I was much younger, I used to work in hospitals, visiting patients. And at one time, the nurses told me they were so touched, they were close to tears as they were telling me that there was this Muslim young lady who had her father in hospital for about, I think, 3 weeks or a month. And just the day after he died, she came to the hospital tracking down every single nurse, every single doctor, every single attendant who had met the father and treated the father, and just begged them to say, please, please, if my father has caused you any inconvenience, please forgive him. And they were saying, why are you saying this? And they were in tears. She was so emotional about it. She said, because I want my father to achieve what is called Jannat al-Firdaus, the highest level of heaven, and I don't want anything to be in the way of that. It's a very beautiful devotion of a daughter to father. Oh, I'm thinking of one more. Maybe it's a different category. I was once doing therapy with somebody who was an alcoholic, and if you work with alcohol, that issue, it takes time to heal that. But one day, that father, he was a father. He came and told me that, and he gave me some extra money. I'm not going to see you anymore. So I thought, have I offended you? He said, no. I tell you what happened. I said, what? He said, I'm a drunk. And I one day came to my house late at night, and I love my daughter. He said, I love my daughter. And I picked her up, and I was just holding her, and suddenly I noticed that she turned her face away because she smelled the foul breath I had. And then she turned back her face smiling, you see, because she loved her father very much too. But the very sight of the daughter's face, who he loved so much, she turned her face and she grimaced, touched him so hard. And he said, I don't want ever my daughter to turn away from me. I've got to turn away from alcohol. So that emotional feeling he had made him into a non-alcoholic person, that love he had for his daughter. Just be with that. What are some loving moments you know about relationship of father with son or daughter? Oh, by the way, yeah, so what are some wonderful memories you have of father? Think of some wonderful insights you've learned from your father. Wonderful memories you have of your father. So if I'm very quickly, I'm looking at the time, if I think of my father was a very positive person. And that really impacted me in a very wonderful way. He said, have faith in life. Which is why I quote this verse continuously by Tagore, who said, faith is the bird that sings in the dark, knowing that dawn is coming. Faith is the bird that sings in the dark, knowing that Dawn is coming. I love the words of Rumi. You know, Brother Jamal, there is traffic and trade in the invisible worlds. Flee not the invisible world. Flee not the invisible world, because it is a place of income. And this visible world, this place of more or less, is a place of expenditure. I always remember that because of my father. Have faith in the invisible world. Of course, work in the visible world. Do your best. But also work in the invisible world. Something else about my father. He always taught his children not to engage in gossip or listen to gossip. And never to slander anybody. You know, there's a verse in the Quran, a very strong metaphor, that when you slander somebody, it is as if you're eating that person's corpse. It's very distasteful. Don't do that. Don't slander anybody. Which is why I love the words of the Buddha. Dwelling on your brother's or sister's faults multiplies your own. Dwelling on your brother's or sister's faults multiplies your own. And the words by Rumi. Veil the faults of others, so yours might be veiled. Veil the faults of others, so yours might be veiled. Okay, one more from my father. My father said when he was young, he was easily irritated. He would get angry. So he taught me those two things about anger. He says, yes, we all are, anger is a wonderful energy. It can motivate you to do great things. But it has to be reined in to be able to be of service. So that's why I always like to tell myself and also preach these insights about anger. When you're angry, the Quran says, lower your voice. Why are you shouting? Can't they hear you? Lower your voice. And then I love the words of Rumi. Remember, yes, lower your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. And the words of the wonderful sage Al-Ghazali, who said, be mindful of the tone of your voice. The tone of your voice can be more important than the content of what you're saying. That has really helped me a lot. What was it for you? What have you gained? Memories of your father. What has splashed in your heart when you think of your father? Okay, now some therapy. Please forgive your father if you have felt hurt. By the way, I've been delighted and honored to work with clients who have been sexually abused by their father. Very difficult. In fact, sometimes so difficult they couldn't even speak, just tears, and they would communicate with me not by talking, but by writing down what had happened. But 100%, each one of them, when they've done the work of acknowledging, healing, transforming, each one of them have become wonderful contributors to society. Many of them become therapists, helping women who have been abused, or joined organizations, or created organizations that empower women. But good memories of your father, how have you been impacted by that? So I said, forgive your father. But as you forgive your father, every holy book says, please heal the wound within you that has been caused by whatever the causation was, whatever the act was. If you felt hurt by your father, please forgive, but heal the wound. Otherwise, if you don't heal that, it is like whitewashing a burning house, the words of the Buddha. If you don't heal your wound, it is like whitewashing a burning house. A true story of Wahshi, who came to the Prophet Muhammad, who was an orphan, and told him that he is the one who murdered his favorite uncle, who was like a father to Muhammad. please forgive me. He said, please forgive me, please forgive me. And Prophet Muhammad said, yes, I forgive you on one condition. Don't come into my presence for at least 1 year. Because he needed that time to heal that wound. Maybe you need to ask forgiveness of your father, and maybe your father is not alive. So that's why we do a lot of work in the invisible world. And I have met a number of people who have felt guilty that when their father was in the last stage of their lives, they did not do what they needed to do. They shunted the responsibility onto another sibling, and they felt very, very guilty. They did not take care of their father. So we need to do some work on that. So forgiveness is very important. Another one I always tell my friends is, please build community. If your parents are, not just because your parents are living and you need the community, but just for having joy in life, build community. But you will certainly need them when your parents grow old and are ailing. So many times I've had fathers and mothers who are dying, and their children who have friends and family members, they help a lot. But you know, people are living longer, and particularly at nighttime, they need help. And sometimes nobody's there to be with them at nighttime. It might seem like a small thing to you. It's a very, as you know, you are very experienced people, so you know it's not a small thing. It's a very big thing. So in our ministry, in my life, I have, happy to say, help people just stay with that person all night long when others have not been able to help. And I don't want to embarrass Sally Jo. Sally Jo really has helped so many people. I've requested her to go here and there, and even people you don't know, and you've been there, and spend nights with that person because it is at nighttime they particularly need help. So the building of community is very critical. Last thing I want to say before I do a meditation is, wow, I've gone pretty much over. If you love your father or your mother, living or dead, and especially if they're dead, do something, a work of charity on a regular basis, but in their name. And you'll find you'll have a wonderful connection with them. Give some money to the homeless or to some charity, but in their name, the name of your father and mother, and that'll give you a wonderful connection. In my life, I and my siblings never had the opportunity to take care of my parents because my mother suddenly became very ill, and she died tragically, she died in 7 days. It was a shock to us. And my father, who was so closely bonded with my mother, he was so shocked. In 20 days, he died. So I never had the opportunity to take care of my parents in their old age. So what do? As siblings, we get together and we say, but you know what we can do is do some works of helping others in their name. Which is why, I'm very shy about asking for money, but we have established this wonderful medical clinic in my village, free clinic for women and children. And I have no shyness in asking for money for the clinic. And the clinic we have named Suraya Ataur Medical Clinic. Suraya is my mother's name. Ataur is my father's name. And we have established the clinic in their name. So what can you do if you want that connection with your father or mother? Through some acts of righteous service. Okay, now I'll do a meditation. I'll keep it short. I will just remember, I'll take you into, in your meditative state, into what is called sacred sanctuary, a place that is absolutely safe, very beautiful, filled with love. And it's a place of magic. You can summon your father. You can fly here if you want to. You can do anything you want in the sacred sanctuary. It could be indoors or outdoors. And there, I'll ask you to meet your father, and your father's soul is there. And in the invisible world, you can tell your father anything. I hate you, I love you, because as long as it is the truth, it is healing for your father and for yourself. I'll guide you through that. This is called expression resolution in the invisible world. Okay. Close your eyes. For a few seconds, focus on your nostril. And just be present with your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Just be with your breath a few moments. And now, please let go of this. And this time, please focus on your heart. I'll count from 10 to 1. At the count of 1, please find yourself ushered into your sacred sanctuary, indoors or outdoors, a place of absolute beauty, filled with love, a place of infinite possibilities. Okay, focusing on the heart, I'll count numbers now. Through the heart, reach and go into your sacred sanctuary. 10, going deeper now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ushered into your sacred sanctuary, a place of absolute safety, a place of astonishing beauty. Please look around you. It is so beautiful. Our souls love beauty. It is a place of unconditional love. And lastly, it is a place of infinite possibilities. For now, please be there and just explore the place. So safe, so beautiful, so loving, so magical. In fact, go and touch something, feel its texture. But feeling calm, safe, loved. And now, knowing it's a magical place, just find a spot and then, through intention, summon your Father, living or deceased. And find, because this is a magical place, your Father appears. Not only your Father's soul. And souls love the truth. Greet your Father however you want to. And now your Father's soul requests you to give yourself permission to feel whatever feelings come up within you. Remember, every single feeling is sacred. Whether it's hate, whether it's anger, whether it's love, whether it's joy, every single feeling is sacred. It is begging to be embraced. So looking at your Father, his soul requests you to feel whatever comes up. Honoring every feeling that is coming up. And only when you're ready, because souls love the truth, please express to your Father silently, in this case, whatever is in your heart and mind. And whatever you say is perfect. Souls, I repeat again and again, love the truth. This is healing not only for you, also for your Father. Express whatever is in your heart, holding nothing back. May I repeat, holding nothing back. Souls love the truth. If your father wants to say something, please allow that and listen. And now, whenever you're ready, in the course of this expression and listening, for a few moments become aware how this relationship with your father, living or deceased, has affected you in every aspect of your life. How has this affected you, impacted you? Just become aware. Shine the light of compassionate awareness on yourself. How have I been affected by this? Impacted by this? Positively or negatively? Awareness is astonishingly healing, especially done with mercy, compassion for yourself. How have I been impacted by this? And the next part is, when you're ready, in the presence of your father's soul, in the presence of the universe, in the presence of your soul, what is your sacred prayer about this relationship? What is your prayer? Express it. Articulate it. What is my prayer vis-a-vis my father? Okay, letting go of that. Now comes the other part. We'll keep it very brief. Look at your father and acknowledge that he has been or is your father in this lifetime. It's part of a larger, more mysterious story. This is called acknowledgement from the heart, for good or worse, whatever the case might be. That acknowledging from the father, he is or has been your father, is part of a larger, mysterious story. Acknowledging. Next part is just allow for a wonderful healing ritual to occur. So for example, if there's some cords that tie you to your father, you have the capacity, it's a magical place, you have magical powers to cut the cord if you want to. You can establish fresh cords from heart to heart if you want. Just allow a ritual of healing and empowerment to evolve. That is healing and empowering for you and your father. Cutting cords, establishing cords, whatever you do is perfect. A ritual that is healing and empowering for you. And now, only when you're ready, bring it to a close. And now, your father's soul thanks you and requests your permission to be released. Please, in this sacred sanctuary, release your father with love and find your father and your father's soul ever so gently receding, vanishing from your sight, and going into the embrace of spirit. And then when your father has completely, with his soul, vanished from your sight, just become very still in this sacred sanctuary. For a few seconds, focus on your heart and tell your heart, I love you, or you are loved. Just for a few seconds. Focus on your heart. Tell your heart, I love you. You are loved. I love you. You are loved. And now just letting go of everything as I sing Bismillah, ever so gently coming into awareness. You can join me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. One more time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Become very still and then listen to the beautiful music by Phil and Brigit.
This is a waltz that was composed by a father for the birth of his daughter in an era where we have everything we need already in this country especially. And we sometimes, rather than giving physical gifts, in Scandinavia they compose songs and tunes. I have a philosophy, a tune with lyrics is a song. And a song and a tune without lyrics is just a tune. And then there is a dance with song. I don't know if this has lyrics or not, but it's for his daughter Josephine. So I don't know. It's composed by a musician.
Roger Tallross.
Yeah.
From Mason.
From Sweden.
Group.
Thank you so much, Phil and Brigit. We'll have some more music in just a minute.
Can we play it one more time?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we can pass it around as you talk.
Okay.
There's always an A and a B and maybe a C part. It says A and B parts.
Which one you want to do?
This one again.
Oh, again? Okay.
And copyright broken.
My dear friends, we are so utterly, profoundly grateful for your contribution, for your sharing. And I asked Sally Jo to, she knows so many verses from so many holy books, to maybe recite a Quranic verse and bless this.
Thank you. Also, we thank the folks out in the cyberspace who are able to give through the online giving through our website. We appreciate that so much. It all helps to make this whole service possible, and all the activities that go on here, and the wonderful restoration and upkeep of this beautiful historic building. So we thank you for all of your contributions. And according to Quran, one verse says that you know, despite the fact that we may be feeling difficulties in our life or experiencing challenges, in the Quran, there's a verse that says, for the one who remains conscious of God, God always prepares a way of emergence, and God provides for him or her in ways that he or she could never imagine. So we thank Allah for providing for us in ways we can never imagine, and remember that the way of emergence will open up for us all and help us to move forward into this beautiful future. Thank you.
Blow into this. And this one too. Okay.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all the efforts.
Upcoming gatherings.
Okay, so we want to talk also about the upcoming gatherings that are happening in our community. And I think that many of you know, we have Sunday service every Sunday. After this service, we go downtown and enjoy each other's company and whatever food and beverages have been brought downstairs. What did I say? I said downtown? Oh.
It's like a downtown. Yeah.
Maybe we're going to go downtown. Well, if there's no food downstairs, we'll go downtown and get some, right? I'm always wondering what will appear. But somehow Allah always provides food on Sunday. So here's hoping it's happening. And also, we also gather every Sunday. And next Sunday, we have our guest congregant speaking for, presenting with us, and that would be Pam Jensen, who many of you know through her work with Maher and Sister Lucy at Maher in India. And Pam Jensen was one of our first members who went to and volunteered at Maher, and has become an emissary and an honorary person who helps Sister Lucy when she comes into the U.S. And Sister Lucy will be on a trip, who's the owner of that wonderful orphanage in India, from whom comes two of our peace camp counselors who are coming in July to help us run Peace Camp, Mangesh and Sony, young man and woman who come and help with our counseling in our peace camp, and they are from Maher and Sister Lucy. And then Sister Lucy will be coming to Seattle in September, so we may be getting a chance to hear from Sister Lucy too. All that by way of saying Pam Jensen, who is a congregant who's been coming here for many, many years, has a very close association with her. And I have a little feeling she'll be talking a little bit about the spiritual impact of having worked with Sister Lucy in India and then carrying out her work in other places. So that will be next Sunday. And of course, every Sunday we have different offerings and different wonderful things to look forward to. On the first Sunday in, what's the next month coming? July, Rabbi Olivia Ben Haim will be coming and giving us his insights for the 5th of July, the first Sunday of July. So we look forward to that as well. And we look forward to all the classes that happen throughout the week, the gatherings, the meditation that happens on Thursday evening, sitting in silence. We have A Course in Miracles, which happens, I think it's on Tuesday evenings, sometimes online on Zoom, and sometimes in person. And you can find out details about all of our gatherings. We have the Friday prayers in the Islamic tradition on the Zoom class on Friday afternoons, every Friday. There are so many opportunities to gather and to study and to be together in community and to work together toward whatever speaks to our higher purpose in life. So we encourage you to look into that and join us for those. And then often there are special events as well. We had a very wonderful special event yesterday with Jamal and Gina Salah and Elizabeth DeQuine, and we had Dances for Universal Peace, which will be coming back to us in another month or so, which happens on a Friday evening. Next Friday, this coming Friday, Isla Ross will be doing her chanting evening and her sacred music in community here in this sanctuary. So keep your eye on the website, and if you get our weekly announcement, it should come out to you every Monday morning, a weekly announcement of what's going on that week and in the special events. So we encourage you to join us in person if you can, or online if you can't be in person, and partake in this beautiful community, because we really have a lot to offer each other. And Jamal, I don't know if anything else coming up. Okay, very good.
Thank you so much, Sister Sally Jo. And we want to say goodbye to our wonderful people who are in cyberspace. Shalom, salam, peace, namaste, and sayonara. Bye-bye. Now, just briefly, any questions, any comments you have that you want to express? By the way, Amber is here. Amber, are you willing to do a poem? Amber is our resident poetess. Here comes Amber, and she knows so many wonderful poems. Any poem you want to recite, here, use this and close to your mouth.
I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I woke and found that life